don't have to have the most expensive property. I've said this 1,000 times. You don't have to have the biggest property, but you need to do your property justice. And here's what I mean by that. It doesn't matter if you have an 800 square foot house or 800 square foot apartment. What you do with that space is what matters. What makes a good Airbnb, what makes a bad Airbnb, and what makes a great Airbnb. That's going to be the subject of this video. Welcome, my beautiful people. Fernando David here. If you've been following me on Instagram, you'll notice that I've been traveling all over Europe for the past 30 days. And I have stayed in some bad Airbnbs, I've stayed in some good Airbnbs, and I have stayed in some great Airbnbs like the Airbnb that I'm staying in today. If you stay to the end of this video, I am going to give you a bonus shot, and I'm going to show you a little bit about this location, about this Airbnb, because it is stunning, people. Let's get right into the video. Most of what makes a good, a bad, or a great Airbnb is really going to be dependent on you, the host. If your communication is good, meaning if you're responsive, if you provide accurate descriptions of your property, if you are easy to get a hold of, then that's going to provide a good experience, and it can provide a great experience depending on your personality. And if you learn to read your guests, here's what I mean by that. I have stayed, since I've been here in Europe, we've stayed in a total of 7 different short-term rentals, and we had a range of hosts. And within that range is when I started to think, okay, and it's based on personalities and based on individuals, but the common theme was that every place that I stayed at, that I gave that property a 5-star, having a host that was responsive and was able to communicate accurately was a big reason why I gave that 5-star. Now, there is a happy medium, right? You really need to read and understand what your guest wants. And we stayed at an Airbnb in which the host was responsive, the host provided accurate information, gave us tons of suggestions on where to eat, where to go, but he was a little bit overbearing, right? Texting me way too much. I don't need that much attention, although I still gave the guy a 5-star. Like I said, he was a little bit too much. So you need to find that balance, versus we stayed at a short-term rental in which we did not give that short-term rental operator 5 stars because it was very difficult to get a hold of, definitely not responsive. Honestly, it felt like he just didn't care. Those are the two spectrums. The next thing is going to be the cleaning. People have said this 1,000 times. It's a must that you provide a clean listing or a clean property to your guests. You don't have to go overboard. And on top of that, what's going to separate between a 5-star and a 4-star, or between good and great, is, and it's related to the cleaning, is not just having a clean property, but having a well-organized unit. And within that organization, here's what I mean by that. Are you providing, or are your towels folded in a nice manner? Are they organized in a specific location? Is your bed made with angles? What I refer to as, are you setting up your bed just like a Marriott would be, right? In your kitchen, are your cups, your silverware, your plates, are they organized and labeled and easy to find? Those things are part of the cleaning and can separate your property between something that's good and something that's great. And obviously, if the place isn't clean, it's bad. The next is going to be that listing description, right? You need to be accurate with that listing description, but more importantly, you need to be very descriptive and personalized. That's what's going to separate something that's good from great. And what I mean by that is the more detailed, and when you write your description, the more you write it in a manner in which it provides or gives the reader a vision or an experience per se as they're reading it, it's going to be much better for you as the host for that guest. The key point there is that you need to be as descriptive as possible and be as accurate as possible in your listing description. The next thing related to that, if you don't do it in that listing description, then you as the host need to provide clear instructions on how to get to your unit, clear instructions on how to get in, and more importantly, if you have complicated amenities, how to use those amenities, right? The next thing that is going to be very important, in most cases, you're not going to be able to make change here, but it's going to be the location. Now, when I say the location, I don't necessarily mean that you need to be in the center of everything. So for example, where we're staying at now, it's a small town called Don Donato, or the area, it's called Don Donato, and it's about 35 minutes away from Florence. It's not in the center or anything, but this location is gorgeous. There are a few restaurants. It's a small little town, very charming, gorgeous, but you don't control that. in the sense that when you buy your property, you want to look for that. But let's say you already have a property and you want to turn that property into Airbnb. Your location may be already picked out for you because it's something that you had. But if you're looking to invest, or you're looking to buy, you're looking to get into a short-term rental, keep that in mind. You do not have to be in the center of everything, but your area needs to provide, it needs to be charming, it needs to be like, this place is quiet, depending on what type of feel you're trying to give your guests. But this place is quiet, it's charming. Like I said, it provides that Italian, I'm in Italy, so it provides that quaint Italian feeling when you get here, right? That's very important, and that separates something that's good to something that's great. The last thing I want to talk about is going to be your amenities. Now, before I get into that, understand this: you don't have to have the most expensive property. I've said this 1,000 times. You don't have to have the biggest property, but what you need to do, or you need to do your property justice. And here's what I mean by that. It doesn't matter if you have an 800 square foot house or 800 square foot apartment, or you have a 4,000 square foot apartment. What you do with that space is what matters. Your decor needs to be like pristine. You need to set it up. Think about it this way. If a professional interior designer goes into your property, what are they going to say? Put it into that perspective of, or when you set up your property, use that interior designer as your avatar. So when the average person like myself, I'm not an interior designer, when I walk in, it gives me that wow feeling. So that's very important in how you set up the property, not necessarily the property itself. The amenities, again, you don't have to have the most expensive property, but within the unit itself, the decor was one. Make sure you have coffee station, some other stuff that I'm about to mention. I've discussed it on other videos, but a coffee station. Make sure you're providing not just coffee, but tea. Make sure that you have a workstation, you have high-speed Wi-Fi. Those are the common amenities, but the extra stuff. So for example, having a smart TV, again, you don't have to have cable, you don't have to have satellite, but you have to have some kind of streaming service so that people that want to get entertained to watch it. I can tell you when I travel, I never turn on the television. Other two, maybe once in a while, I'll turn it on to watch some YouTube or something, but I don't watch TV, but there are people that do. So please provide some kind of entertainment. Make sure that in addition to having like a streaming channel, make sure you, any little extra stuff, like for example, here, they give us chairs, there's a fire pit outside, they provide the firewood, you know, stuff like that matters and separates you between something that's bad, something that's good, to something that's great. Hope this information was useful. If it was, you know what to do. Oh, wait, the bonus. Let me show you the bonus. Here is the bonus, like I mentioned. Here is my view. It is just beautiful. The best part about this place is the mornings when I get up, I watch the sun come up, I drink my coffee, have my breakfast. Here's the pool. There's the main house. And this property, I believe he told me it was 30 acres, and it's a olive farm. They produce olive oil here. So my morning toast with balsamic vinaigrette and olive oil and salt and pepper to dip my bread in is just phenomenal. All right, my beautiful people, now I'm gonna sign off. You know what to do. Hit that like button. If you haven't subscribed, subscribe. If you found value in this video or you'd like to donate to the channel, consider buying me a coffee. If you have a question, buy me a coffee. I'll respond and we can have a chat. Love you guys, and I'll see you in the next one.